everybody. Welcome back to another Raw Read pop up. Yes, I am popping up. Why? Because we have something to talk about. We have something to chit chat about. And let me tell you, we got something to be messy about. It is something that William has been up to. Who knew? Who knew that William had given an interview to the Times, over there across the pond and peddling the nonsense that he is a man of substance? Yes, yes, yes. And all I can say to that is what one of the squatties commented about that and said, yes, he is a man of substance abuse. Now, all that is allegedly, but y'all know I am starting this pop up out being messy. And so you know it is nothing but that is going to ensue because when I start out messy, it gets messier as I go along. But I digress. I am going to put this up. And one of the squatties posted, the front and the title of this article from Time. Now, I am not going to get into this article because People Magazine came in and wrote an article about this article. You know what? People Magazine is starting to bite off of Kaiser's writing style, aren't they? Because this has been Kaiser from Celebity's writing style since forever. She always write an article about an article, and now here is People Magazine biting off of Kaiser. But I digress because I want to focus in on what this particular squatty has posted. The picture that they featured with this article, this exclusive from William for the Time. And also, the title of the article is Prince William, I Want to Bring About Real Change. Now, we all know that that's not true. What he wants to bring about is the illusion of real change. He wants to bring about getting the money shot to convince people that he wants to bring about real change. And I know to some people that might sound real cynical of me. Roy Reed, why do you feel that way? Well, I feel this way because I am a student of human behavior. And basically, being a student of human behavior, you know that people really, through their lifetime, really doesn't change that much. Now, does every person have the capacity to change? Absolutely. But does every person change? I mean, change a personality trait. And this is what we would have to believe that William has changed his whole personality trait to be able to swallow this nonsense that he is peddling in this article. And I would say, nah, because let's compare him to Harry. And I know a lot of people hate the whole comparison game, but this time I'm talking about personality traits. Now you can look at Harry from the time he was a little boy up until present day. He has always been a caring person. Have we not saw all the pictures of Harry as a little boy being a caring and loving little boy, holding the umbrella for his granny and his, what is it, Gangan, I think Harry called the Queen Mother? Yes, that's Harry. Where are those pictures of William being kind and loving towards anybody? Now, we saw William as a little boy punching his mom in the stomach and elbowing his dad so hard that I was expecting brain matter to splatter out at any time. If he had kept it up, this has been William's behavior, in childhood. And we have saw not one shred of evidence that William has cared about anybody except himself, his own selfish needs. Unlike Harry. Harry started Cinnabon at 19. William started to fall out of cars with his little tart, his honeypot, Kate Middleton. Now, I'm not saying Harry did not have his problems. Him and William both did. They had lost their mother. And of course, this would be the result of that. So I'm not condemning William for his behavior. I'm just saying his lack of interest in helping anyone. Because even though Harry was falling out of bars and drinking too much and acting out and exhibiting negative behavior, Harry always continued to be a kind and caring individual, always doing something that to help someone. And so that is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying that this is more about Harry, his competition with Harry, his obsession with his brother, and wanting to be him. I have never saw anything quite like it. I remember when Harry said in Spare that his brother was in this one-sided competition with him and has been all of his life. But I must admit, at first when I heard Harry say that and it was in Spare, I was like, this is just a typical sibling rivalry. But as time has gone by, Harry has been proven right. William has shown himself to be obsessed with his brother and obsessed with his brother's life. I mean, taking every accomplishment and accolade of Harry's as a slight on him and his obsessive behavior when it comes to copying his brother and his wife. I mean, it is amazing to me. So when Harry said that, I kind of gave it the side eye and thought maybe Harry was being a little dramatic for his book. But no, no, no. He was absolutely being honest and straightforward. And has it been one sided? Absolutely. Harry pays him no attention. He just goes about living his life being himself, and William takes it as a slight. But I said all that to say this. This is what I think this is all about. It's about Harry. It's about trying to present himself as Harry. I have said it from the beginning. Him and his wife, the mannequin, William and his wife, the mannequin, are single white femaling Harry and Meghan. They want their life. And if you look at this article, William is absolutely describing Harry's life, how he wants his kingdomship to be, with royal with a lowercase r. He said that. I'm just saying. But let's get into what this squatty said that posted this. And they say, pray tell, has Prince William brought peace to the Middle East? And y'all know this squatty is absolutely being as messy as possible because we know that William said his life work was going to be bringing peace to the Middle East. Y'all remember when he went over there to Israel and he said that and embarrassed himself? Well, this squatty has not forgotten. And then it goes on to say, what about Earthshite? You know what I'm talking about. As he flies helicopters weekly. Has he made duchy properties habitable? What about the homeless problem in Britain? He crows every 4 months about. A prince without a paddle will be a king without a saddle. All air, no substance. But like I said, the squatty that commented on this said, well, he does have substance abuse. Mm, allegedly. Allegedly. I must say, he is starting to look better. He looks like he's put on some weight. This picture looks like his old self. He does. He looks better. I'm glad to see it. Because for a while there, he was looking pretty cracked out. I mean, Harry and Meghan's success was just about to get the best of him. But who knows? One of these many vacations that him and his mannequin are supposedly on, one of them could have been to a rehab. Yeah, that's just my opinion. All I can say is it's good to see him looking better and not so cracked out. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, let's go on. And like I was telling y'all, People Magazine wrote an article about this article that was in Time, and I'm gonna put it up. And it says Prince William is pretty demanding, and it is shaking things up behind the scene. Well, this is the approach that People Magazine took and what it took and gleaned from this article. Because in this article, in Time, it was talking about how he has managed the duchy. He has managed the duchy officially 1 year complete under his management. And so this was supposed to be this whole big story about that. But I must say, maybe People Magazine was being a little messy. And yeah, this is what they gleaned out of it. And this is the reason why I use this particular story instead of the Time bootlicking one. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put it up. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because this is a pop up. But yeah, they are trying to tell us something. And I know that People Magazine tries to ride the fence, but every now and then it really be trying to tell us something. And this particular article, I believe, is, well, tell us something that we already know. We know William is a raging psychopath. We know that, allegedly, and that he is always incandescent with rage. Now, I'm not going to say allegedly on that one because we heard that was written in print over there. We heard that time and time again, written in those rags over there, and we also read it in Spare, where what Harry said he did to him. So that part has been documented. Now the lunatic part, now I'm gonna say allegedly on that, and that's my opinion. But let's go on with this article. And the title of the article, like I said, is Prince William is pretty demanding and it's shaking things up behind the scene. And then it goes on to say something I found so interesting. If you just hear the cues in here from people, it says the Prince of Wales gave an insight look to his quiet trips to the countryside. And it turns out his healthy impatience is an asset. What y'all think about that statement? And they have it in quotes. Healthy impatience. Have you ever saw those two words tied together? Healthy and impatient. Yes. They're trying to tell us something we have already known. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this is what they put in the article saying, need to know. Wonder why they put that in there. Was that something from Kensington Palace insisting that it goes in this article? That's the way I see it. Because I have never saw people write an article saying need things you need to know. It says need to know. I have never saw that before. To me, that just smells of Kensington Palace making sure the points that they want to be highlighted is exactly that, highlighted. Well, let's get into it. It says, need to know. First bullet point. Prince William was called pretty demanding as the leader of the Duchy of Cornwall, a royal role he stepped into when his father became monarch. Pretty demanding. Okay. And the next bullet point says the Telegraph joined the Prince of Wales on one of his quiet trips to the Duchy, which he visits privately every 4 to 6 weeks. Do y'all believe that? I'm just saying. If you do, let me know because I got a bridge I'm going to sell you now. And the next bullet point says William said he's prioritizing stuff that's going to make people's lives living in those areas better. Okay. All right then. We'll get to my thoughts on this a little later. So let's go on. It says Prince William has a reputation as a tough boss when it comes to key royal roles as heir to the throne. A tough boss. They're still trying to tell us that William has an anger problem, that William really is impatient. He's a petulant child. Now, listen to this part right here. It says, according to the Duchy's secretary, Will Brax, Prince William is pretty demanding in a great and ambitious way. What kind of nonsense is this? I have never saw these adjectives put together in this manner before because they don't go together. How can you think pretty demanding can go together with great and ambitious? I mean, that is crazy to me. And when have we ever saw William be ambitious? William is all about the money shot. Always have been, always will be. And it says he's easy to follow because he's got great convictions and a personality. And he really wears his heart on his sleeves in terms of social interest and his desire to have a positive impact in the world, Brax told the outlet. Yes, I'm sure Jason Knopf wrote that all down on a piece of paper so he could absolutely get his lines right when asked the scripted question. These people love to blow the smoke up your skirt, don't they? I'm telling you. And they said, this is what it said. It says, the estate director, Ben Murphy, adds that the heir has a healthy impatience. When have you heard of that healthy and impatience? Those two adjectives have been put together to describe someone. And they say, as his father did, which put the wind in our sails. Can you believe this nonsense that these people are peddling? Oh my goodness. But it says the prince told the Telegraph, I see the duchy as an extension of the work we do with the Royal Foundation, the charitable organization of William and his wife, Kate Middleton. Yes, and you know what? I'm going to say this, and this is kind of off subject, but all of those name polices that be in these comments, I always say, her name is not Kate, it's Catherine. Her name is not Kate, it's Catherine. Well, her own husband calls her Kate Middleton, so stop it. But I digress. He said, I see this as a branch of my philanthropy, he added. There's so much good we can do in the rural world. I see it, the duchy, as another arm to my work that I want to do, which is being a positive force for good. Yes, as long as we have the cameras here. Make sure you have the cameras. And which side is my good side? Make sure you get that picture from that. Because this is all performative. Because let's not forget, all of those rundown houses are part of the duchy. And he has not done anything. At least nothing has been written to say he has done anything to improve the lives of those people that are living in those rundown houses over there. I mean, he is a slumlord, but yet and still, here he is trying to present himself as this person who just wants to do good. Well, if you want to do good, what about getting that mold out of them walls of them houses that you continue to charge rent for? Yes. What about fixing the roof to keep the water from leaking down the walls? What about that? What about putting in environmentally efficient windows and doors to keep the damp out? What about that? None of that has been reported as anything that William has done. Here he is standing up here saying that he particularly wants to focus on the mental health of the farmers. Well, that's all well and good, but what about those raggedy ass houses that you keep on renting out and people have to live in that nonsense? Yes, what about that? William is so full of it. He's so full of it. And he doesn't understand that what he's doing here is not improving his image at all. And the reason is not because it's not coming from the heart. Because the minute, if William had had a heart, if he had been this person that he's trying to sell us to be, the minute it came out or the minute it came to his awareness that his tenants was living under these distressful conditions, he would have went right in and rectified it all. But he did no such thing. He absolutely ignored it until it died down and then used the power of the palace to make sure it died down because after that documentary aired on Channel 5, none of the other rags, none of the other media over there picked that story up. None of them. They made sure it was squashed. And so this is why I look at him with the side eye. This is why I feel like he is so disingenuine because that right there was an opportunity to show that he really cared about people and he dropped the ball. Do you honestly think if Harry had found out that someone that he was responsible for being their tenant that would not have been rectified right away. And then Harry would have made sure that everybody was good. And why do I say that? It's because of Harry's track record from the time he was a little boy to present. He has always been a caring person. And that is the reason why you can make those assumptions. And look at William. He has shown who he has been ever since he was a little boy. This is all show. I'm just saying it is PR, plain and simple. And that is the reason why it was ignored. I mean, nobody paid it no mind. And I saw a squatty where one squatty had brought it up and they said, you know what? I had never even heard of it until you said something about it. And we were 2 days in. This is not something that just happened. This has been, I think, the first of the week. And nobody has paid it any mind, not even their so-called fans, because they have been consumed with Megan's clean vegetables. Yes, y'all know they have been on one talking about the picture that Megan posted of her vegetables and Mama Mia sniffing them and her having those cute sandals on. Yes, they have been on a conspiracy theory saying that those vegetables came from the farmer's market because they were just too clean to come straight out of her garden. Just like Megan would absolutely post a picture of a bunch of dirty vegetables. Of course, they were clean, and of course, they were placed in the basket for the best way for it to have a visible appeal. I mean, Megan is in the business of lifestyle. You know, if you show me any vegetables that Martha Stewart has posted and they were dirty, or any other lifestyle content creator. But yet and still, here they are with this nonsense and paying William no mind. That is the reason why these people are not fans of William and Kate. They are haters of Harry and Meghan. But I digress on that. I just want to share some of the responses to this really, really quick, some of the comments that the squatties made about this article. And the first one said, demanding trying to keep up with Harry and Meghan, just like Harry said in his book, Spare. He doesn't have a passion for anything, just competing. Exactly. Exactly. We talked about that earlier. This has nothing to do with him having passion or fire in his belly, or even having the ability or the personality trait of having compassion for people, because we have never saw any of that until now. And and it seems like it went into overdrive when Harry married Meghan. It seems like he lost his rabbit mind. When Harry brought Meghan home, he went into full on obsession. But I digress. And the next squatter said this. So Willie is demanding, but in a great and ambitious way, with a healthy impatience. But Megan is a bully. The misogyny is running down the walls. Where is the lie? Where is the lie in that? Yet and still, the way they want to describe Megan, and with no evidence, we're not going to get into it, but you know, when you bring emails to a court procedure and the ones that the worst ones you can bring are as nice as Megan's are, it's no way you could ever sell me on the fact that Megan is a bully. And like I said, it's so much other stuff too, like personality traits, who Megan has been all her life. Yes, that dog will never hunt for me. And then this particular squatty said, I bet Bully and his cabal of nasty, unwashed efforts in Kensington Palace are still enjoying the amenities Meghan brought with her own money to improve the heating and the lighting in that miserable place. But of course, those ishy ungrateful arseholes only know how to take. Yes, this particular squatter is still pissed about Megan spending her own money to make that place warmer and with better lighting. Yes, I bet they're using those heaters that Megan bought. Yes, but yet it's still, Megan's a bully. Now, she cared about if they were warm enough and their eyesight to make sure the lighting was up to par. But we're still supposed to believe that this is the behavior of a bully. Stop it. Stop it. And the last squatty said this. He's a bully. pretty demanding, he is a full-blown bully. And that is what pretty much the People magazine was trying to tell us. Yes, they were trying to tell us with all their fancy adjectives that didn't go together that William is not what he's trying to sell us on. He is a bully. He is demanding. He does nothing but want to take credit for other people's work and get the money shot. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.